Good evening and welcome to our Village Towing pregame show on Bay County TV. Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham, glad to have you along tonight. Oh, it's rivalry week. It's John Glenn and Garber.
It's rivalry week in week number 2. You know, I'm kind of excited about it, and I was, looking forward to this game in the middle of the season. But hey, you know what? There's no better time than week number 2 to get the east side and the west side together, and let's see what we can do for the battle for Vets Bridge.
You've got USA tonight, too, so a lot of patriotism. There'll be some military salutes during the game, so that's all fun and that's all exciting, but we've got a football game to play tonight.
I think I'm looking forward to seeing how John Glenn is going to respond. Last couple of years, Garber's really had their number, and it reminds me of a school south of us for a couple of years that were kind of having their way with the team from Ann Arbor, and they were kind of saying, what rivalry? It's not a rivalry anymore. And the team from Ann Arbor went and smashed them in the mouth, and I'm really expecting Coach Horton's group really to take a cue and come out and give it their best effort tonight. Records aside, everything aside, I think tonight you're going to see the best John Glenn effort that we've seen in 3 years.
So at this point, 0-1, real tough first week loss, 51-12, but as you know, as a coach, from week 1 to week 2 is where you see your most progress.
You want to see gains, definitely, from week 1 to week 2. The preseason is this thing. You have your scrimmage going into week 1. Still a lot of uncertainties. These two teams know each other. These players know each other. They've known each other on the basketball court, the baseball field, and, of course, the football field. So it's going to be really exciting watching, just how they're going to go at. It's going to be a spirited game.
Please support.
You got to love the fact that as a coach, you don't have to motivate your kids this week in practice.
No, I think this is one of those weeks where you find out who is your leader in the locker room, because the best teams that are out there always get it done between the guys that are wearing the jerseys out there that are going to be out there competing. And, as a coach, you can say all you want and you can give them all the rigmarole, but at the end of the day, those guys know what they're playing for.
Now you've got the Garber Dukes. They're coming off a big win over Hemlock last week and looking to continue that momentum.
Yeah, I think what they were able to see last week was Owen Halstead, one of their 4 seniors. They're, relatively a young team. But he's been chomping at the bit to become their quarterback, and he's been waiting and waiting and waiting. And, he goes out and throws for 270, 275 last week. And it's really nice when you're a quarterback and your first start as a varsity player to have a wideout like Max Fellows. And we've talked about Max for the last 3 years and every sport we've covered of the Garber Dukes. And Max really helps keep a calm, when you're bringing in a new quarterback like that, because he just, hey, throw me the ball.
He is a beast. Beast mode is what I use. And you hate comparison to Megatron, but at the high school level, he's that kind of talent that can totally dominate the offensive side of the ball.
He can just do things, it's the playmaking ability, going up above the defenders. It's really tough to guard him one-on-one, so you're going to see a mix of coverages on him. But even when you put 2 or 3 guys on him, he still has a way to make things happen out there. And take that away, he's got strength, and he's also got speed. So when he catches it and he gets it in open space, watch out.
Consistency and Coach Coquillard and his staff, and that's a big plus as well.
Yeah, we looked at the roster before the game, and again, I think that's one of the key things of why you see, 5, 6, 7 wins, playoff appearances for Coach Coquillard and his staff, because he has them all together. They know what to expect. The players know what to expect. We walked in today. They had all their youth teams practicing, and I think that's a real strong, consistent aspect that sometimes gets overlooked, just how good your program can be when you start it so young.
Well, we are definitely looking forward to this game tonight. Week 2 rivalry. That about puts the wraps on our Village Towing pregame show. Back with all the game action in just a minute on BCTV. Village Towing and Auto Repair of Caucaulin and Bay City is here to help you in your hour of need with fast and friendly service. With over 30 years of towing experience, we know how to get the job done quickly and safely. From big to small, we do it all. Give us a call at 989-684-9607 for all your towing needs. Good evening and welcome to Week 2 here at Garber Dukes. It'll be the Dukes and the Bobcats of John Glenn, Jeff Doan, Jason Newsham, along with Jared Doan doing the filming and the producing of tonight's show. What a great opportunity, and it's time for football, Jason.
Amen. They were not going to kick it to Beeson. He's got some good speed, so does Arocha as number 15 there
Garrett Hilborn can't quite get his hands on it. Ends up going out of bounds. Will be John Glenn football right around the 25-yard line.
So probably could not have worked out much better for the kicking game. They did not want to go deep. I don't think they wanted to give up the opportunity for a big play early on. They're going to make them navigate 75 yards of real estate to get their first score on the board.
Well, we know that Garber is a young team roster-wise. Still going to look for number 4 Max Fellows out there on the short side, right near us here. He's going to look, make some big plays out there on the defensive side. We talked about his offensive prowess.
Well, we'll find out how much they even plan on running his way. Is hit right at the line of scrimmage for maybe a 1-yard gain, and that was the up back number 15 Hilborn. And he was met by the whole defensive interior line of the Garber Dukes.
Looks like number 0, Connor Greer, took the snap there for the Bobcats in the backfield.
Second down and 9.
It's going to be tough sledding, You want to establish yourself in the trenches early, so this is what we would expect from John Glenn. Again, I expect them to come out with their most intense action right now. Try to play smash mouth football.
Hilborn again, the single back, coming with a jet sweep this way, and nice job of scooting up in between is number 0 on the play, and that's
the ball carrier, tackled by Charlie Fellows.
Yep,
that's Connor Greer. So it looks like, Buzzard is the quarterback. I got a little confused there when.
Got a gain of about 7 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 2 yards to go. But yep, you know that ground chuck is going to be their mode of operandi tonight, and they are going to just sneak in a pass now and then, trying to catch the defense off guard. I see when they go to the wide side of the field, they switch Fellows and put him out there to cover the wide side.
That's a smart move right there. Coach Coquitlam, not in his first year of being a being a coach. Nope. He stretched.
And that is going to put him right at just, I'm saying he is going to be short by half the length of a football. And it's going to be 4th down and about a foot.
Well, Jeff Beisel's rule of thumb is if you can get 3 yards every down, you're going to have a first down. So I would expect them to keep the ball on the ground. As Buzzard comes back in from the sideline. Actually, no, again, that's going to be Greer coming back in from the sideline. He's going to tell, it's one way to keep your quarterback fresh.
Now,
what other guys run?
What we're going to see here, obviously, is gap responsibility defense, but I don't think they want to sell out and give up the chance for a big play. So we'll find out what they're up to right now. As motion to the wide side, and there is a very deep pitch.
Ball's on the ground.
That is not the play that I anticipated. I think they really thought that the Bobcats were going to get to the outside because the Dukes were really going to pinch down on the inside. That play took a little bit of time to develop, and Garber got to the football in a hurry.
He had 2 guys that he could have pitched it to right there, and I think the first guy was a little surprised the ball was coming at him, put his hands up, ball goes down, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Dukes at the 30-yard line.
Well, Buzzard is a class of 25, so just a sophomore. And
no, we're going to give him a junior status. We don't get COVID years.
Don't we?
No, not at the high school level.
All right, I was thinking it'd be 5-year plan instead of the 4. 1st and 10 for the Garber Dukes.
This is the I'm excited to see Owen take some snaps here, and again, they know where they want to get the ball to, but he's got some other capable receivers. As they're going right to number 2 off of his hands, as Andrew Phillips he just snuck behind the entire secondary.
Is incomplete. 2nd down.
Well, it's nice because you're going to get double coverage about every time Fellows goes out into formation, and the safety rotated that way, and a great move, and obviously Phillips.
Yeah, he wants that one back.
Yep.
I'm sure Owen will get him back in the huddle and tell him, hey, listen, man, so it's 1 drop, let's go. Play on.
Well, and Phillips says, if he's got to do something, he's got to turn around and get that ball. He was so wide open, he could have backed into the end zone, but, the opening jitters of this game will cause that to happen. 2nd down and 10. We'll see what the Dukes respond with.
Phillips, a nice big body out there, too, about 6'5", 6'6", so a nice person to run opposite. Nice throw by Halstead. Again to Phillips. This time again dropped. Settled down. Nice pass.
But 2 nice throws, and
intended for Andrew Phillips is incomplete.
what do we got? Do we got a penalty flag on the play? I don't.
No, sir.
All right.
As Halstead will come over, we just talked about how important it is to save your quarterback. He's got to look into the sun, get yelled at by Coach Coquiller to get back on the field. And, they're going to talk to Andrew on the sideline. Hey, give him a couple pats on the back of the helmet and say, hey, let's go. Next one up, next play up. 2 nice throws by Halstead, though. That's what I'm excited. I think he has something that they've missed. He's got a nice cannon where he can throw balls right into the gaps.
I'm going to throw this at you. Does he miss the second pass because he's still thinking about the first?
Yeah, he's a 16, 17-year-old high school kid. There's a good chance exactly what he's thinking of. Fellows here on the short side. That went a little over his head.
Fellows can go up and get a lot, but he can't quite get up there to Minute Bowlville.
Well, I think get the nerves out. First possession, first series. Be interesting to see. They've had the luxury of Tyson the last couple of years being a place kicker, and this is his range for sure. So interesting to see what they do here on 4th down and 10 from the 30.
Well, our quarterback, again, Halstead, threw 2 good balls. This one he probably on 3rd down wishes he had back, and maybe he saw something we didn't. Maybe he saw a linebacker or something coming underneath and forced him to throw that ball away. On 4th down, they're going to get that ball out to Fellows, and I'm going to tell you what, it drops in. He's in the end zone. It's a Garber touchdown.
Owen Halstead's sitting at 1 for 4 right now, but he's 1 for 1 in his mind.
Well, he threw 3 pretty balls, and I'm going to tell you what, you're not going to find Max Fellows dropping those offerings very often. That was dropped right in the basket. So we'll get our first look at the try for extra point for the Garber Dukes.
And when you get rid of one Tyson from the kicker, you bring on his brother. This is Isaac Tyson, the junior, who will be taking the place kicking duties for his brother.
So you think they have a kicking competition in their backyard? That extra point is up. It is plenty sufficient, and it's good. Time out of the field with 9:19 left in our first quarter. Play the Garber Dukes 7 and the John Glenn Bobcats nothing. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood, or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
All right, back on Bay County TV as the Garber Dukes make short work. 4 plays on their first drive, 30 yards, which was a 30-yard pass to Max Fellows, and that was dropped right in the old breadbasket. Great pass.
Well, we're going to see Tyson come out to kick the ball off for the Dukes. Back again, Beeson and Arocha for the Bobcats.
They've moved up a few yards on this offering, and this is going to be a Arocha. Has the ball go off his shoulder pads, now picks it up, trying to outrun people to get to the corner. Can he get there? No, he is going to be knocked down at the 17-yard line by the Garber Dukes, Owen Halstead.
Well, he's not throwing passes. He's tackling on the special teams. So, he's getting his name in all aspects of Coach Coquiller's report.
Well, looked for a minute like Arocha was going to be able to get to the corner as he showed a good burst of speed, but the defense really forced him wide and allowed the pursuit on the kick team to come and make the tackle.
Right. I think they kept him going east and west versus north and south just long enough for Halstead to lay a nice hit into him. And this is a good thing for, Owen. He's not, last year playing a little bit of linebacker. This year he gets to come off the field, be the quarterback, and kind of get a chance to rest, relax.
He might play a little spot duty at the linebacker, but trying to go right up the middle with a really nice run that time is number 7, Bidoff.
Yeah, Bidoff, the red-nosed reindeer.
Oh, and that's a nice gain of about 8 yards on first down. So great block at the line of scrimmage, allowed him to get to the second level and made a nice run out of it.
Be interested to see how the Bobcats respond. The first series ended on a fumble on a 4th and really a millimeter from what it looked like from the press box. I mean, that's almost quarterback sneak material. But, you know, they don't practice a lot of quarterbacks under center anymore. So that might have been a little bit of a different look for him.
2nd down and 2 yards to go.
Hankinson goes wide to the top side.
Buzzard handing that ball off, and it's going to be the 1st down and a little bit more. Penalty flag down on the play, though.
It might be coming back. This is your spot right here. The white hat throws the penalty.
And white hat throws it almost 100% of the time. It is going to be a hold. And I'm quite certain with it being a 1st down that they are going to accept the penalty. He does a nice job of moving the flag. The idea behind doing that is you want the flag to be at the spot of the foul. And it's going to be holding on the offense, and it's going to be 2nd down and 12 yards to go. It looks like a line of scrimmage hold. And
so
tough
10 yards from the spot of the foul.
Correct.
Okay.
If it's at or across the line.
So if the runner gets a 1st down and the hold is 10 yards past the 1st down marker, it goes 10 yards back, and if it's enough yardage for the 1st down, it would still be a 1st down.
Correct.
Okay. We're getting into preseason form here with our Ask the Official, the IBM. You make the call.
Yep, once you get across the line of scrimmage, it's enforced from the spot of the infraction.
Well, 2nd down and 12.
I mean, they had 2 successful plays in a row running the football, so maybe the Bobcats have gotten a little bit of the first series jitters out of the way and starting to carve out a little room in between the tackles.
Well, again, we talked about the trenches. This is somewhere I feel that Coach Horton's going to have his guys down low, trying to make something happen to give his guys a little bit of confidence. As
quarterback Buzzard on the keeper trying to get around the corner, and look who is out there to shut that door down, and that's Mac Fellows. He says, you're not going to get around the corner. I got the long arms.
It wasn't so much of his position as much as the fact that he's got the long arms there to make the tackle and drag him out for about a 3.5, 4-yard gain by Buzzard.
But the key is when you're a defensive back, you use the other defender on the field, that being the sideline, to your advantage.
Right, and I think he's played this game 3 years on the varsity, and I think he's IQ-wise one of the top IQ athletes that I have been around.
3rd down and 8 yards to go, so the John Glenn Bobcats in a 3rd and long situation. There's not a zillion plays in your book to make 3rd and 8, but we'll find out what Coach Horton and company have put together here.
Hankinson here on the
Buzzard back to pass, and boy, he has time to throw. Now the collapses, and the tackle is going to be made by Randall.
Ryan Bray in there as well. Randall came in at the end, closed that gap. I thought he had a little bit of a room maybe to, really what you wanted to get out of that was 5 yards. If you could have got 5 yards to make 4th down manageable rather than having to punt the ball back to the Dukes. And right now it looks like they will be punt position or punt formation.
Well, G. Buzzard didn't like what he saw from his first option, and then after that first option, as the Bobcats are moving 2 people on late.
And there's going to be a flag somewhere out there.
Yep.
There it is. So now the situation is
they'll decline the penalty because the punt is only going to be about 25 or 26 yards. So I would be not maybe shocked at 28 yards that they'd back it up and make them do it again, because I think as a punt return team, you can move your return man up about 7 or 8 yards and maybe catch something on the fly and make something of it. I think Coach Coquillard rolls the dice and makes them re-kick.
He's going to have to let his offense know. I don't think they got the word yet. They're ready to go. Halstead's like, we'll take it from the 47, 48. Still a lot of white jerseys on the field right now. And a coach. Not quite sure what's going on over there, having the additional support staff member on the field.
2 men in motion against the John Glenn Bobcats, and they're going to accept the penalty, I think. Nope, he never said that they're going to decline the penalty. He just said it's going to be 1st down for the Garber Dukes.
Well, now they're going to mark it off. So you get the 5 yards after the spot of the punt, which was at the 48-ish. So now the ball sits at the 43.
So it ends up being about a 23-yard kick after the penalty. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Garber Dukes.
Well, I think this is going to be key right here. See what they do defensively. See if they start putting their secondary guys back a little bit, because they've had 2 balls perfectly thrown over their heads. And
I think they try running on first down here, but I don't want to be 0 for 2 trying to outthink Coach Coquitler.
Tyson comes in motion.
Yep, I'm wrong again. And down the field again, Fellows with another big catch inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. He goes, why run the football when Max Fellows goes up, catches it at the highest point, really, with 2 defenders pretty well defending him. And
I think what the thing about it was, go back to the throw. Halstead threw it to the one spot. If Max doesn't get it, the ball flies into the end zone. Max can go up and get that ball, and again, sitting at 2 for 5 right now with about 55 yards on his stat line, and he's looking for more. In the backfield, it looks like number 30 is back there, which is Sawyer Van Dorn. He's just
son of Swingman Van Dorn.
He's just back to the block.
That's a son of a Thomas Lincoln Handy graduate back in the 80s.
Oh.
And a pitch to Van Dorn on the outside, and he does a great veteran move as a senior, and he just gets on the ball. Don't try and do anything fancy and pick it up. And the loss on the play is going to be about 8-9 yards back to the 22-yard line.
Key thing there, the Garber Dukes recover it.
And defensively, Jackson Vrabel did a really nice job of forcing the hand of the quarterback Halstead to get rid of that ball, as he was fully committed on making sure that ball got pitched and the quarterback didn't make a move upfield.
We had 2 pitches so far. They both have been dropped to the ground. I don't know if that's, you're looking at Van Dorn's looking back into the sun on that as well. It's pretty prevalent so far here in quarter number 1.
2nd down and 20 yards to go. Another pass down the field. And that is going to be a missed tackle, and scooting into the end zone with his 2nd touchdown of the night is number 4, Max Fellows. It's a Garber Duke touchdown.
I think Coach Coquillard's greatest thing right now is just putting up that number 1. He's got Tyson going out there. He knows that's a pretty sure thing, and he's going to be happy with a 14-0 lead with 5 minutes and 31 seconds left here in quarter number 1.
Well, the extra point is not good yet, but Tyson looks pretty automatic.
Well, maybe I just jinxed him. Maybe I gave him the old kibosh.
Nope. We don't believe in kiboshes.
Holding the ball, Ethan Pett, backup quarterback.
Ball is up. It's plenty long, and it's good. Now 5:31 left in the first quarter, 14-0. Garber over John Glenn. Back in a moment on BCTV.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Back here on BCTV, Jeff Doan, Jason Newsham, and Jared Doan out filming and producing tonight. And Nick Page's absent, so we thank Jared for stepping up to the plate. And under the watchful eye of the golden tablet of MLive, Lee Thompson. Always nice to have a man of his stature in our neighborhood.
Well, he's got his fingertips going really quick right now with the way this game has unfolded here in the first 6 minutes.
Well, he has seen a game that has been dominated in the first half of this first quarter by the Garber Dukes. That ball hits on the ground and just takes a funny angle and will go out of bounds, and they'll probably opt to take that ball at the 35-yard line. I have a strong suspicion.
Well, I think that would be a good idea. Again, they got to get some positive gains right now. One way or the other, get a couple of first downs, build some confidence. Again, I think their trenches are playing really well. I think inside their running game is, they're getting 3-4 yards a pop. And again, stick with what's working.
And if you talked earlier that Jeff Beisel 3 yards in a cloud of dust, then you should be able to go with it on every 4th down and pick up those first downs. So let's see if they maybe dial it back and go back to a little bit of basics and see where it takes them. Buzzard, the quarterback again with a single back. Double wing setup with a wide out to the wide side. It's exactly right, going right up the middle, and really absolutely nothing there as the initial hit was by number 71, Tristan Westfall. He slowed him up, and he had plenty of company at the line of scrimmage.
A lot of Carolina blue jerseys out there on that tackle right there. Westfall, again, he started last year as a sophomore, so again, this is, even though he's a junior, he's got 2 years of experience playing varsity football here for Coach Coquillet, and they're expecting a lot out of him out there.
Well, when I was here officiating middle school games, that young man was a running back for a period of time, and he was a load to bring down. 2nd down and 10. Buzzard on the keeper. He found a little seam up the middle, picks up a nice gain of about 7. What a nice, patient run that time. Waited until he saw it, planted his foot, headed north and south, and picks up a positive gain of 7.
Tackle by Lucas Naring, another name we've mentioned last year. He has a sophomore. He got a lot of experience last year, both as a fullback and as a linebacker. So, again, this is what we're looking for. 3rd down and short. Stick with it, keep going up the middle, try to create some gaps up there, and maybe pop one out.
We'll find out what they do. We're going to call it 3rd and a long 2 right now. And the John Glenn Bobcats, as we approach the 4-minute mark of our first quarter, really need to get a couple of first downs and get some momentum.
I think the key thing is just keep the Garber defense on the field. They have only been on there for a couple of plays.
And again, trying with a little counter action, not even getting back to the line of scrimmage. Tristan Westfall helped to blow that play up in a hurry.
By Tristan Westfall.
I think we're going to say that name quite a bit on the defensive side. Strong, junior.
A loss of 2 on
Westfall, another name that we're familiar with.
Yes, and the thing is, he's an experienced player. He's strong, but he moves very, very well, and he's a smart player. And so now what we're going to have John Glenn with a timeout. We're going to take a quick break and be back in a moment with 3:30 left in our first quarter. It's 14-0, Garber over Glenn.
Are you ready to gear up and stand out? Look no further than Sandlot, your local source for team uniforms, sports spirit wear, and more. Gear up with confidence. We've got your team covered from head to toe, ensuring you stand out on and off the field. And that's not all. Unleash your team spirit with custom spirit wear that roars success. Wait, it gets better. Introducing our free fundraising online stores. Effortlessly raise funds for your team while showing your pride.
Back on Bay County TV on 4th down and about 5 yards to go. Looks like the Bobcats are going to be in punt formation. There is a low snap, but nice job to get that kick off, and that's going to take a nice roll and be finally picked up as Fellows back there used his baseball abilities. Coach Eric Debo was going to be happy to see that scoop up. And again, the game we did this spring with he and John Glenn in baseball, that was a 2-to-1 clinic with both those teams playing exceptional baseball.
Sontag for John Glenn on the mound, Fellows for the Dukes on the mound. It was a warm day for a spring game, and man, it couldn't have asked for a better performance.
A lot of 90-mile-an-hour pitches thrown that day. So let's see what the Garber Dukes are up to now. Is obviously it looks early on like they can go to Max Fellows at will.
Yeah, but again, they've got some other options out there that we wouldn't be surprised to see Hall City's try to get the Phillips a couple times. They're going to run it. There you go. You missed your chance.
And there's a nice gain on a play of almost 5 yards.
So Van Dorn gets the carry there, and his first carry goes for 5 yards.
With the initial tackle for the Bobcats.
So he's still on that pitch play that went awry. He's probably going to end up with the credit, if you will, for the -10. So he's still got to get 5 to get back to the line of scrimmage. But whenever you can roll up 4 or 5 yards on first down, that kind of opens the playbook.
Absolutely. And again, we're going to go back to they got some other wideouts on this team. Number 16 coming here is Everett Listerman. We know Tyson's out there. He's been in motion a couple times. And, of course, you got Fellows. Now they got 2 guys over there with Rocha on close and then Hankinson deep. And that one is.
And that's a pick 6. Absolutely exactly what the John Glenn Bobcats. Colton Beeson, he's into the end zone. It's a John Glenn Bobcat touchdown. Well, little miscommunication. The wide receiver never really even looked back for the ball, and it was a perfect throw. It was just to the wrong colored jersey.
It was a slant for sure. It just slanted to Beeson, and He did not drop that ball and took it to the house.
And that's a great job by Beeson to look that thing in. He caught it in stride, and at that point it was very obvious that nobody from Garber was going to be able to catch him.
No, they had all their receivers going one direction and Beeson was going the other. And, again, you're going to look at that and go, okay, again, is it a correctable mistake? Do we need to make sure everyone's on the same page? But I like it. I like him trying to get the ball to other players, maybe not force it, but try to get the ball to other guys to help alleviate the pressure from Max.
Bosback with the extra point, and it is going to be wide to the left and no good. Time out of the field with 2:24 left at our first. It's 14-6. Garber over John Glenn. Back in a moment on BCTV.
Another fall Friday night, and your kids should be
playing high school football.
It's a fun game, and it's safer than ever.
It's safe because the rules,
The coaching and the equipment are better than ever before.
As a result, serious injuries are at an all-time low. Seriously.
And builds
Strong schools, lifetime memories, and tomorrow's community leaders.
and it's mother approved.
It's a great game, and we want to teach it to your kids.
Back here on BCTV as we still have 2:24 left in the first quarter. Huge swing of the momentum of this ball game with the pick six by the John Glenn Bobcats.
Well, it could be. It's going to be interesting to see, again, how the Dukes respond. It's not going to be, a situation that they wanted to be in necessarily. But, again, you got your senior quarterback, you got your senior wideout, and you got guys that can really keep your huddle calm and come right back out and get ready to do it all over again. It's miscommunication. It wasn't an awful throw from the standpoint of he threw it into triple coverage, things of that sort. So, miscommunication. He's thinking slant, receivers thinking flat. It's not the first time.
So
Get the magic ball out there.
Yep, it took them a while to get it. I thought they were going to be threatened with a delay of game. Find out now as the Bobcats will kick the ball back to the Garber Dukes.
That's number 11 on the kickoff, Christian Bosback.
The ball back up to about the 36-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Garber Dukes.
Good field position to start for the Dukes here, and after the turnover.
Again, a near picture perfect night for high school football week 2. The rest of the weekend and early next week, they're talking 90s. So great to get this game out on a Thursday night where it's only going to be mid-70s for the high. And
not going to have to worry too much in the second half either, even about dew. We had it a couple years ago with the temperature drop and
heavy dew.
Yeah, thought of rain and possibility of rain, and it really can play with your passing game or even your running game.
Trips here to the near side of the field. Let's watch this formation. As the handoff going up the middle for gain of only about 3. It's Van Dorn, the ball carrier, and Hilborn and company just came up and made a huge play to stop him dead in his tracks. So modest gain of 3 on the play. 2nd down and 7 yards to go for the Garber Dukes inside 2 minutes and counting left in our first quarter.
Yeah, Max Stahl, also number 77, and on the tackle for the Bobcats.
As you know, Coach Coquillard has plenty of confidence in this offense. I don't think he scales or dials anything down or back because of the interception. And now they've got an empty backfield with trips to the wide side and twins to the near side. Quick pass on the outside for a gain of about 3 more yards. And John Glenn defensively really does a nice job to shut that play down.
Ethan Pett on the reception. Ethan Pett is also the backup quarterback here for the Dukes. So don't be surprised, maybe a little trickery on a throwback like that, possibly later on in the game.
But again, the Bobcats have a little different spring in their step since that pick 6, and they've made 2 great defensive plays in a row. But I would triple team Max Fellows right now.
Yeah, I would put 3 guys on number 4.
And, you know, maybe by doing that, then Coach Coquillard uses him as a decoy and finds somebody else wide open.
It'll be interesting to see right now. They got trips coming down our side. Listerman, Tyson, and Fellows. Yeah, it looks like they're going to go a little man-to-man. They're going to roll them out.
Going to get rid of that ball, and in and out. It almost looked like it went off the helmet of the intended wide receiver.
Tyson coming back to the ball, doing what you're taught to do. Come back to the ball so your quarterback can at least have an attempt. Also had to avoid some pressure there as he rolled out. It's one of the first times he's rolled out today.
Very, very nice job on his part to break the tackle, and he actually made a nice throw. I think Tyson would have that back again. He would be pulling that in.
Yeah, nice pressure there, too, by number 0, Connor Greer, for the defensive pressure for the Bobcats.
So look who you got punting. You've got your quarterback, Halstead, back there. So,
and now you got
delay again,
guys.
Penalty flag on the field.
This is where Coach Coquillard is going to have to talk to his team. A little illegal substitution.
Found pre-snap, it's a 5. Found post-snap, it's a 15.
Yeah, I don't know that I understand that. If the official doesn't see it, obviously the coaches from the opposite team are going to be calling that. So it just seems a little.
It should never be a 15.
Okay.
That's what I believe you're trying to say, and I agree with that. That ball is kicked, and a nice job. And look at it take a great Garber Duke bounce, and the Bobcats say we'll take it back at the 15-yard line, and nice field position change on that punt by Halstead.
Kind of looked like your chip shot there.
No, if it's going 50 yards, that's my driver. Now Lee T, that's another story, and that would be a wedge, and that would have a little backspin if he did it. So I think maybe chip and run with the 7 there and got it down at the 15-yard line. 1st and 10 for the John Glenn Bobcats, as they're going to try and get some momentum going with their offense, as their defense has put 6 on the board here in the first quarter, but we're down to 13.2 ticks, and all probability this will be the last play of our first quarter.
Yeah, barring a penalty, I don't expect him to go to the air. I think maybe even get Buzzard a couple more opportunities. He's really running the ball well and running hard.
Well, they get 2 in motion, but they got them both reset, so it's okay. And now we're going to have a delay of game. That's virtually one of the very few times your back judge gets a chance to be involved, and they're going to back that up on a 5-yard penalty. And boy, when you start out with an unforced error on first down and put yourself behind the chains, that makes for a tough start.
Well, does it change your first down call, though? You know, I mean, if you're looking to run it and get 5, 6, 7 yards, you know, on a first down, and 1st and 15 would at least bring it back to a 2nd and 8. But I don't think it changes. It's not like a 3rd down and 15 from a 3rd down and 5, or a holding penalty on a 3rd down. Totally taking you out of your offensive playbook.
Well, but if you were in a first down play where you were trying to get 3, 4 yards, now it might be a situation where you have to try and find something different. And they are really stacked up the middle, and the ball carrier on the play is Buzzard, and he might have got back to the line of scrimmage, and he was hit first by number 17, Pestru. And that'll be the end of our first quarter of play. It's 14-6, Garber over Glenn. Back in a moment for the second quarter on BCTV. So your car is getting towed and you're not sure where to take it? Try Village Towing and Auto Repair. Our expert mechanics are here to help assist you with all your repair needs. We have over 30 years of experience with motor vehicles, so you know you're getting the best work that you can find. Stop by the shop at 2377 South Huron Road in Coquitlam, or give us a call at 989-684-9607. Back here on Bay County TV as we prepare for the start of the second quarter. Nothing gained on first down. It'll be 2nd and 15 for the John Glenn Bobcats as Buzzard is back. And a little counter handoff to number 15 on the play. And that's Hilborn. He might have picked up a yard on the play.
they got to have a lot of expectations for Hilborn. He's a freshman playing up here on the varsity.
A gain of 1 on the
If our
play.
classes
Third down
are
and
correct,
14.
we got a couple of freshmen on this team right now that are going to get a lot of game experience. That Coach Horton's going to have to hope that the carryover starts to happen.
Well, and I got an opportunity last week to do the freshman and JV game at Western, and John Glenn freshman went out to Western, and the Western freshman and JV teams are both very well suited to make strong runs this season, and we anticipate that the varsity team is going to have a opportunity for the playoffs, as we are going to have timeout on the field. I believe, it's going to be John Glenn. That'll be their second timeout. We'll take another quick break, and we'll be back in a moment on Bay County TV.
As the voice of Michigan's student athletes, the Student Advisory Council's role
is to convey the message of how high school sports should be played.
We are responsible for helping the MHSAA maintain a positive and healthy atmosphere
in which interscholastic athletes can thrive.
We believe that athletes should be competitive,
sportsmanlike, and excel academically.
We believe that students in the stands should have fun,
but not take away the focus from the game.
We believe coaches should act like teachers,
helping student athletes develop while still keeping high school sports in perspective.
We believe that parents should always be positive role models
and support their child's decisions.
We believe officials commit their own time to high school sports,
and respect should always be shown and given to them.
The most important goal for student athletes is to enjoy high school sports
while keeping a high level of respect between all those involved in the games.
Enjoy the game.
Back on BCTV as it's 3rd and 14 yards to go for the John Glenn Bobcats, and deep in their end.
The shadows of the end zone.
They are definitely going to have to make certain that they don't make a mistake back there. Buzzard double pumps, throws the ball, and a little miscommunication. Great defense. Max Fellows was looking like he wanted to go for his 3rd touchdown of the game.
He had Lucas Guys out there, another freshman for the Bobcats, number 13, as well as Colton Beeson out there. Neither of them could get to it, and I think the closest one to get to it would have been Fellows. And, you never know with them arms.
So now it's interesting here. They're going to bring Fellows up on the line of scrimmage. Are they going to rush him and see if he can get some
little deflection,
penetration on the punt? And that ball goes out through the back of the end zone, and it will be a safety. And it is now 16-6 as that high snap. And Fellows looked like he wanted to come in and try and be a factor. So now what happens is you get a free kick from the 20-yard line. You can kick it off or you can punt it. So you have choices, but Garber should have the ball somewhere around midfield or in their own end of the field after this kick.
Well, we talked about momentum earlier. Beeson with the pick 6, giving the Bobcats a little life. They came out in the next possession, really dialed it in defensively. A lot of gang tackling on their side, too. So not only were they tackling really well, they were on their side where their fans are at. So they were really intense and intensified there with that. And now all of a sudden you got momentum possibly going back to the Dukes. And now the defense for the Bobcats are going to have to get back on the field and try to counter the momentum and, get in a couple more stops.
Back to a 2-score game, too, at 16-6 and at 14-6. Still was a touchdown and a potential 2-point conversion away from tying it. So we're going to find out now what the Garber Dukes are trying to do. But the Dukes have not had a lot of success in the first half trying to run the football. We haven't seen a ton of tries and opportunities for it. But the John Glenn defense from end to end on the line and the linebackers have really been filling the holes.
It looks like we got Tyson back. That's going to be Isaac Tyson back, the junior for the Dukes. He's going to be right around the 45-yard line. And I believe that they are going to
punt.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's kind of tough for a punter because a punter has got to understand you cannot cross the 20-yard line before you kick the ball. And this is probably not something that you do a lot in practice. Let's see what we got here. Does a nice job, a nice high, deep kick.
Over Tyson's head, bounces right back to him. Yeah, tried to make the first guy miss, unfortunately. Tackle is going to be by number 13 for the Bobcats. And as we find him on the alphabetical list, we don't have a 13.
There we go.
Lucas Guys with the tackle.
Love the fact that there's a fan out there yelling for a horse collar. You cannot have a horse collar when you fall forward when you are being tackled. That is a whiplash effect from the side or backwards motion. And when a fan shouts that, he does not show his great ability to understand the high school rules.
He's not an MHSAA certifiable.
You know, if it looks funny, there's got to be a penalty. There's got to be something wrong.
Over the back. Over the back. You can't do that. Not to my team, you can't.
1st and 10 for the Garber Dukes as they've got twins to the near side and trips. Again, they're going empty in the backfield. Trying to get to the outside. What a nice job of concentrating by number 16, Listerman.
Yeah, Everett Listerman just sat down in the one spot of the gap that he could, and nice first down pickup, about 8 yards on the pass from Halstead to Listerman.
And Halstead was starting to feel some pressure, but he really planted that foot and threw a strike, and Listerman went down. And as you're going down to the ground, that is not an easy catch. You've really got to have great concentration. He looked it right into his hands and knew he wasn't going to get hit because he was already down.
Correct. You got a trip to the top side. You got Tyson, Listerman the far. Looks like Fellows is going to be on the inside here. Got Solo down here.
Van Dorn in motion now comes to the near side. And he gets blasted instantly by number 28 on the play, Forgash. And Forgash looked like he wasn't even touched as he shot a gap that was never covered. And that's going to be a loss on the play of about 3. So 3rd down and 5.
Forgash looked like he was in on the play call. He knew exactly where that was going and was able to get down right away.
As a linebacker, you know, you maybe see that guard pull and leave his area, and he filled the hole.
Brings up 3rd down and 5 again, manageable. Halstead over here talking to Coach Coquillard. They're going to call a timeout right now just to talk this play over.
It'll be Garber Dukes' first time out of the first half. They'll have 2 remaining. It's 16-6. They're up by 10. Back in a moment on BCTV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood, or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
Back here on Bay County TV as Garber prepares for a 3rd down and 5 with trips to the near side of the field. And they're going to put that down into the Fellows neighborhood. Max Fellows was tiptoeing through the tulips to the end zone, and he forgot the mail. What a perfect pass again.
Well, the pass, the route, you know, he was, again, able to get past his initial defenders. He got 2 guys over there. Hankinson, the deep man. He's got Rocha right on him, trying to bump him off the line of scrimmage, and Max with that speed. We're not going to see too many misses out of Max Fellows. And I don't think this is a time where you go, hey, you know what, big fella, I just threw it to you. You dropped it. I'm not giving it to you again.
I would think he might get a mulligan here.
4th and 5. Big stop right here. Opportunity for the Bobcat defense.
And we'll look and see what the Dukes are going to dial up here on 4th and 5. And that was... looked like it was an attempted quick kick, and there was a little miscommunication there. And
I think he kicked Van Dorn.
I think Van Dorn was in the neighborhood. I don't know if Van Dorn got in the way or there was actually contact there, but it was supposed to be a quick kick.
Well, again, momentum change. I think the John Glenn defense right now is definitely keeping the Bobcats in the game.
And the Bobcats will take over 1st and 10.
And it's a nice opportunity now with a short field for the Bobcats, 43 yards away from pay dirt.
Yeah, they're in the shadows of midfield, not the shadows of their end zone now. Let's see if Buzzard can get something going here as a quarterback.
Again with motion. Buzzard on the keeper, cuts back and picks up about 8 yards on the play, maybe give him 9, as the defense really went to that first option.
Well, they faked it to Hillborn up the middle, and I think he got tackled by 3 Dukes.
A gain of 8, second down.
Good decision right there on your option, and your run option there with Buzzard in the quarterback spot. Sometimes it's tough to pull that ball back, though. You know, you want to give it to him. You think you got something, and then you know what? Something else opens up. And as a quarterback, you have to make that decision pretty quick.
And it's called a read option, but you're right. You don't have a ton of time to make that decision, whether you keep it in the belly or you pull it back out. Second down and a long one. As Buzzard is going to hand that ball up. Nope, Buzzard's going to keep it again. And he's going to pick up the first down and more down to the 24-yard line.
Got something going right now. We talked about it, and I thought earlier getting Buzzard a little bit more. He's been running really well, probably getting 6-7 yards a carry right now. If it wasn't for a couple of in the backfield where he got tackled a couple times on some ill decisions, I guess, whether with the pitch it or hand it off, but he's really been getting them legs churning. And he's got those guys selling out on Hankinson going up the middle.
And that's great if you're a Bobcat, because once they stop looking at him, then he's going to get the ball back. As he did there, he almost lost the ball as somebody tore at the arm, but did a great job of holding on to it, and the defense flowed to the football, as it looked like, amongst others, number 55, Bray and Fellows.
Yeah, that was the keep running it. One of these times you're going to pop it.
Virtually no gain on the play. It'll be second down and 10 yards to go. Jeff Doan, Jason Newsham in the booth, and Jared Doan out filming and producing tonight. So great night for football in a jam-packed Week 2 rivalry here out at the home of the Dukes. And another carry that time by number 15 on the play, as Hillborn bangs forward, and he gets about half of what he needed, so it'll be third down and about 5 yards to go in 4-down territory.
Absolutely. Hillborn being a freshman, got a lot of confidence in the freshman out there in a game like this, but you know what? Buzzard's doing a great job of giving it to him when he needs it and pulling it back when he needs it.
Back here on BCTV with 44.6 ticks left. 1 timeout remaining for the Garber Dukes. Boy, he's got Fellows on a wheel route, and he's going to have to throw that ball away as the pressure came defensively from number 15, Hillborn. It'll be second down. A nice design play. Would have kind of been a delay, and he could have lofted that up, but still double coverage defensively. They're very well aware of where Fellows is at.
I'm expecting in this next couple of plays, Everett Listerman, number 16, he's had 1 reception here in the first half, but I would look at him as a guy that can get something, get open, maybe get behind the secondary. Similar to what Phillips did the first play of the game. They're not expecting him, and I do think if Halstead was able to get that foot planted, but hey, credit number 15 Hillborn, that freshman. He knows what he wants to do back there. He wants to get to that quarterback.
Yeah, when you have got your linebacker as a freshman, you've got yourself a very, very talented young man. There's the fake in the middle, and that ball is in and out of the hands of the receiver, in and out of the hands of the defender, and still almost brought down by Thiessen.
Yeah, Tyson had an opportunity. Fellows had an opportunity. The Bobcats defense had an opportunity. Brings a third down and 10 on the incomplete pass. Clock stops with 33.2 seconds left here in the first half.
Now, if you're a defender, you really like a situation like this because you can pretty much just pin the ears back and head to the quarterback. Very little chance that they're going to try running the football.
Correct, and I think that's right now what they want to do is make sure that nobody gets behind that secondary. You've got number 0 out there, Connor Greer. You've got Roach out there, Hankinson out there, Beeson out there. You got 4 essential cornerbacks out there, Lucas guys out there. Just don't let anybody get behind you.
Here we are with a big 3rd down and 10. They're going to throw that ball deep, and it is going to be picked off by the John Glenn Bobcats. And Westfall is out there, and he puts a plant on them with 21.4 ticks left. So how about the defense for the John Glenn Bobcats coming up big here at the end of the half?
Well, you know, it's almost no different than a punt. You threw a little bit of a Hail Mary there, 3rd down and 10. You gave a couple of new guys an opportunity. The Bobcat defense definitely stepped up, made the play. Lucas Guys, again, freshman, making a good play and a good return. But 20 seconds left. Not quite sure we're going to be in a Hail Mary situation.
Their own 28-yard line.
We'll find out what they're all about at this point.
Garber gets the ball, you know, starts the second half. So I think, you know, one of those things playing in Coach Coquillard's head is not worried necessarily about the interception as much as is just going into halftime right now with a 16-6 lead.
As they're going to come out right now, and we'll find out what they're all about and what they're doing. So we'll wait and see. As we got our 50-50 here, vice versa. We both touched each other's tickets, so if we win, we split, and we'll all go home happy. As Buzzard is just going to play it safe with a handoff right up the middle, and I believe the Bobcats have got to be pretty satisfied to go into halftime only down 10 points. So that will be the end of our first half of play with the Garber Dukes 16 and the John Glenn Bobcats 6. We'll be back. We'll put the wraps on the first half, set the stage for the second half here on BCTV.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. As a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
Let's hear it for the Garber High School cheer team.
The Garber Dukes will be the recipient of the kickoff to start the second half.
Boss back kicking off for the Bobcats down to Tyson. Not going to make it all the way down to Tyson. It's going to be taken by the up man. Loses his towel and manages to get over the 35-yard line up to about the 37.
It'll be 1st and 10 officially at the 37-yard line for the Garber Dukes, and very nice return. We'll find out now again as we talked on the halftime show, Jason. This is of the utmost importance for both the offense of Garber and the defense for Glenn to make a statement.
You know, I think Glenn just wants to really stay dialed in on what they've been able to do. They've been able to take away Fellows for the most part. He did have the one that he snuck on in the second quarter that ultimately dropped the pass. But they've done a really nice job of keeping an eye on him. And if you don't let the run game go, you're really going to limit them down to what they can do.
Again, with trips to the near side of the field, single back again. Looks to be Van Dorn in motion. And the quarterback on the keeper finds a nice gap up the middle. And he picks up yardage of about 16 yards down to the 46-yard line of the John Glenn Bobcats. Greer led the tacklers for the Bobcats. Nice read option again. Put it in the belly of Van Dorn, pulled it back, saw a nice hole up the middle, and got a big 16.
He did it. He hit it hard, hit it well, and he get them powerful legs running. A funny story about Owen Halstone. I coached him in basketball when he was about a 4th grader, and you remember him wearing his Pittsburgh Steeler hat. And I remember one of the assistant coaches said, he can't wear his hat, Darren. I was like, hey, you don't tug on Superman's cape, you don't spit in the wind, you don't take off Owen Halstone's Pittsburgh Steeler hat.
1st and 10 for the Garber Dukes. Again, the quarterback keeper, Halstead, comes forward and picks up almost 4 more yards. So the defense really looks like they're keying on Van Dorn when they put the ball in his belly. So great job that time as Halstead says, I'll just keep it, and picking up nice chunks. Got 20 yards in the first 2 carries of the second half. And they're trying to force the John Glenn Bobcats to have a little more run respect.
Right, and I think that's, you talk about adjustments. He didn't run the ball on his own accord in the first half. They tried to get the ball at Van Dorn a couple of times, but, obviously they saw something on film. If they can hide it in the belly of Van Dorn and allow every now and then Van Dorn get the ball and up the field he goes for about 4 yards, close to the marker. They're going to end up about 1.5 yards short.
Yeah, he'll be down to the 39-yard line, and obviously when you're able to pick up 9 yards on 2 plays, then you have got a wide-open playbook on 3rd and short.
You do, and Halstead in the first half, 8 for 18 from the quarterback position for 116 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Fellows was the main recipient for those 8 catches for 72 yards.
92 is my penmanship, yes.
Wow.
I worked at a hospital for 40 years. I could only read my writing.
You're not a doctor.
3rd down and a long one. High snap, and they're going to fake the pitch, and very nice job on the quarterback keeper, and they're going to say he just got the 1st down.
Owen Halstead, the ball carrier.
Yep, they're calling for the chains to be moving. Again, nice decision. Didn't force the pitch that wasn't there.
Boy, I'll tell you, Hilborn again, the freshman, comes up and just lays a serious hit.
Him and Forgash, we've been saying their names a lot on that Bobcat defense.
36-yard line.
So from the 36-yard line, it'll be 1st and 10. 9:35 and counting left in the 3rd. So trying to establish the ground game, trying to keep the ball out of the offense from John Glenn's hand, trying to wear that defense down. This has been a well-scripted start to the second half.
You called it how important it was at during the halftime show, just about this first possession and what we can look to expect. And then every now and then you just kind of throw one up to the guy that number 4 and makes a miraculous catch over Hankinson. Number 1 on defense there.
Now Hankinson has got to be very, very distraught right now because he thought he had a pick. He was in perfect position. Fellows just climbed up the ladder and said, this one's mine.
Yeah, I got this one. We talked about being able to throw the ball up and letting him go get it. That was a perfect example of that. He just threw it up. Probably not the most advised pass. I think if you're watching on film, you're probably going, what are you seeing here besides just taking 2 steps and letting it fly? Looked like me back in the day, playing a little tackle football on Sundays over at Handy. I just throw the ball up, let my receivers go get it, make me look good.
Yeah, but your average kid isn't 6'5" and jumps out of the gym and the football field. So it's great. You have the defense starting to look run, and you get a big pass. It'll be 1st and goal now from just outside the 5-yard line, and that pass to the outside again. John Glenn's defense is there, but spinning around and into the end zone. It's a Garber Duke touchdown. It is number 3 as Tyson gets it.
Now he gets to go out and kick the extra point attempt.
Well, what a nice job by Tyson because John Glenn had a defender absolutely perfectly positioned out there. And he put a little dipsy-do move on him, and the defender was reaching for Harris. Tyson went into the end zone untouched.
Well, let's see if the little energy burst that he just used on the touchdown catch affects his ability to kick this extra point.
Was a low snap. Great kick is up, and it's good. Time out of the field with 9:06 left in the 3rd. It is 23-6.
Life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan, Jason Newsham along with you. Jared Doan out filming now under the watchful eye. Mr. Michael Guizdala, who'll be sitting next to me next week trying to carry me along in week 3 as we'll be in Pinconning as the kickoff comes, and we'll be taking a great job that time. But
I thought he was out of bounds. It looked like he was just twinkling.
He comes back upfield. Arocha doing a great job as he may have what I thought taken an ill-advised scoop of that, as that looked like it was heading out of bounds, but he says, never mind there, Mr. Doan. I am going to show you how I'm going to take this thing back to the 39-yard line and pick up a little +4. 1st and 10 for the John Glenn Bobcats. And this is an essential drive for the Bobcats to move the football, and I really think they have to put points on the board in this possession.
Well, that Garber drive took 3 minutes off the clock, ended up with 7 points. So, you know, we can say it till we're blue in the face, but they really need to get some confidence on this offensive side of the ball. You know, let's look for Buzzard, maybe keeping it a couple more times. And his pass wasn't too far off. So let's see, maybe they'll even try to open it up in the air.
Well, with only 42 yards, you know, they got to do something different. And the big minutes of Bray out there just slapped that ball away, and Bray was looking around. He says, let me see if I can find that pigskin and see if I can turn into a running back here.
Well, we're going to have to go back to talking about the trenches, and I thought with the run game that they really had some momentum with it, as we're going to have somebody hobbling off here for the Dukes. He can't quite catch a number because his arm is covered.
I was going to say, looks like it could be a issue with the shoulder, and that is number 9. That's, Anthony Randolph. And I don't like to speculate, but it almost acts like a little stinger of some type.
Yeah.
It's only a stinger.
Yeah.
If you've ever had one, there's no such thing as only a stinger. 2nd down and 10 yards to go. Again, jet sweep to the near side of the field. Tyson with the initial hit defensively shuts the door. And there may be a modest gain of a yard on the play. At most, it'll be 3rd down and long, as the Garber defense, giving up only 42 yards in the first half, continues to be stingy here on the first drive of the 3rd for the Bobcat offense.
Tyson was in there early trying to snatch that ball away from Beeson, and just trying to grab the ball, slowed up the running back just long enough for the rest of the Duke defense to not allow much gain on the 2nd down run there. So brings up 3rd down and 9 with just what did you say, a skosh over 8 minutes?
Yes, indeed. That is Mike Guizdala. He gets in the neighborhood. We're pulling out Michaelisms. 3rd down and 9. Motion to the wide side of the field. They're trying the jet sweep again, and boy, it just seems like Garber is there for containment, and they're flowing to the football very, very well.
And again, we touched on this at halftime as well, as the Garber defense the last 3 years have not given up a point to this John Glenn offense. Yes, they have 6 points on the board. It came from the John Glenn defense, as Westfall will come off for a well-needed rest. He's been on the field for, I would say 98% of the plays so far for the Dukes.
But, you know, Coach Coquiller does a nice job, because when you've got people playing both ways, you take that moment where you can get them off the field for just a little extra blow. And that ball was not touched, and it'll roll dead at the 20-yard line, as the back judge is going to confirm that the ball was not touched. He needs to point 1st down to the Garber Dukes, but we're going to have to get that into the officiating 101 sequence. Make that a point of emphasis this week. But the Garber Dukes, with their 2nd offensive possession of this 3rd quarter, now with 80 yards of real estate to hit before they hit pay dirt, with 7 and 12 left in our 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I think if that last possession, even the possession going into halftime, showed you anything, is their offense running some clock, getting some positive gains. Yes, first half ended on the interception, but again, 20 seconds left, you're kind of throwing it up anyway. But that first possession they had, they've mixed it up, a couple of runs, a couple quarterback runs, a couple of passes, and next thing you know, where we're at, in the end zone.
Well, and it helps when you run that last series as the pass is out and completed on the play. Listerman with a really nice grab, uses his hands, and a gain of about 7. But back to my thought, when you are running clock, trying to get a score at the end of the first half, knowing that you're going to touch the ball first in the third quarter, that changes a few things.
Yeah, a lot of your mindset, a lot of your coaching philosophies will say, obviously we get points is one thing. We can really put this game away. But knowing you get it, you can kind of adjust your play calling a little bit. And, they would have loved to have went into the halftime with a 23-6 lead, don't get me wrong. But, the worst thing is they come back out, get the ball, do what they did their first possession, and now they're up that 23-6 with the ball.
Second down and a short 4 to go. As
a little trickery coming back.
Trying to get a little bit of movement, and a really nice job to cut back across the grain.
Tyson with the little woo.
Boy, coming to the near side of the field, didn't see anything. Planted the foot, cut back across the grain to the Bobcat side. As Billboard again with another tackle on the play. He's made a ton of them in this game, but move the sticks. It'll be another 1st and 10 for the Garber Dukes.
Tyson coming up a little bit hobbling. Looks like he's favoring the left foot a little bit.
It's because it was such a heavy plant to go back to the other side of the field. Maybe we're starting to get a little bit of dew on the field. Maybe that thing planted and slipped a little bit, but it doesn't look like heavy dew out there at this point.
We've seen this field start beautiful and end in a pile of mud before, and this field is great condition. The staff out here loves taking care of this football field here at the home of the Garber Dukes. Nice run up the middle. Van Dorn gets about 9.5.
That's probably the best run for Van Dorn, and again, establish the run in the first series of the third quarter, sprinkle it with pass. Now the defense is really having to guess what they're going to do, and the running lane is there for 9.5 for Van Dorn.
Yeah, I think your best offense right now is, again, keeping it mixed up, keep grabbing into that bag, and being able to pull out a couple of different things. You're getting more people. Tyson's getting involved. Listerman's getting involved. Van Dorn's getting involved. Halstead on the run's getting involved. We haven't mentioned Fellows except for the one catch so far. That's what I think is going to be Garber's success. What they're going to be able to lean on is a plethora of players producing.
Quarterback keeper again, 1st down and more for Halstead as he does a nice job. They'll move the sticks down to the 47-yard line of the John Glenn Bobcats. At that point, it'll be 1st and 10 again for the Garber Dukes.
It's nice when you only have a 2nd and a half a yard for sure to use that run right there. Again, Halstead, shorter by stature, but strong legs, strong upper body. He's had a football. I think he was born with the football. And again, it was a black and yellow one that said Pittsburgh Steelers on it. That kid loves the Steelers. He goes to Steelers games. He just loves the game.
Well, that was my first memorable pair of jammies back in the day, the Steel Curtain days. So again, a great job by Fellows. He takes 5 or 6 strides down, puts that plant foot in, comes right back to the football.
Pass is complete to Andrew Phillips.
Phillips with his first catch of the game. He's got the same basic body, and I'm glad to see. I told you earlier in the game that they'd try and go back to Phillips because he wanted to redeem himself for those first 2 passes of the game.
So you throw it as hard as you can, and the only option he has is not to miss it.
Yes. Yeah, when you throw it that hard, you limit the options.
I'm not sure if that's still stuck in his face mask right now, but between his hands and his face mask, just catch the ball, son.
2nd down and 7 yards to go. And again, when you got bookend wide receivers at 6'5", you've got something special. Now they're going to give the ball to Van Dorn up the middle, and he gets hit right at the line of scrimmage and does not gain a yard. Initial hit defensively is going to be by Brené. Had plenty of help on the play, though, and no gain. It'll be 3rd down and a short 4 situation for the Dukes.
I thought the Dukes, I thought maybe they were moving a little bit ahead of the snap, and I think if you're Coach Coquille, you're going, hey, my guy was moving. I want 2nd and 9.
Well, and a lot of times when it looks like there's movement and it's awkward, as long as the center moves the ball in a continuous motion, it can look odd.
Get that again with the IBM. You make the call right here in the Bay County Sports booth.
And these 2 officials, the head linesman and the line judge, are both I think we're going to have a timeout on the field by the Garber Dukes when they're going to be looking at a 3rd and long 3. We'll take a quick break and be back in a moment on BCTV. Village Towing and Auto Repair of Kaukaulin and Bay City is here to help you in your hour of need with fast and friendly service. With over 30 years of towing experience, we know how to get the job done quickly and safely. From big to small, we do it all. Give us a call at 989-684-9607 for all your towing needs.
So,
back on BCTV, it is 3rd down and a long 3-yard to go situation. Trying to get that ball out, throwing it up for grabs, and look at Fellows. And he cannot hang on to the ball. He was bobbling it with his tootsie, hit the sideline. But Holstead, he was under duress back there, and he said, when in doubt, just throw it up to my guy that has the best chance to outrun everybody. I think they ran that play thinking that if they didn't get it, that they'd still have an opportunity to try it on 4th down.
So, well, the last time they were in a 4th down situation, it looked like they were going to do a quick punt. Holstead doubles, quick kid as the Holstead doubles as the punter. Had a little mixed up, little confusion. So it'll be interesting to see what they do in this situation. But again, you got a guy like Fellows out there. You got a little press on the ends. They're going to go to Listerman.
Listerman on the outside. He plants that foot, turns it upfield, and for about 2 extra yards, he picks up the 1st down. And looks like one of the Bobcats look like they're down on the field. And that will be the first time we'll need to see the trainers tonight. Might be a little cramping going on. We'll take a quick break. Oh, it's just a cramp. Back in a moment on BCTV.
Are you ready to gear up and stand out? Look no further than Sandlot, your local source for team uniforms, sports spirit wear, and more. Gear up with confidence. We've got your team covered from head to toe, ensuring you stand out on and off the field. And that's not all. Unleash your team spirit with custom spirit wear that roars success. Wait, it gets better. Introducing our free fundraising online stores. Effortlessly raise funds for your team while showing your pride.
Arocha with a cramp goes off the field under his own power, which you'll love to see. 1st and 10 for the Dukes. Van Dorn bangs forward, and he's going to pick up about 3 yards on the play as Garber is now really running into the ball control offense.
Tackled by McCall Bradley out there, number 69. Tried to rip the ball away from Van Dorn. They really need to come up with a turnover or a stop at this situation, again, to get the ball back to their offense to try and get something going. I mean, we're running out of time. Just a little over 2 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. Well, running low on time.
And really trying to wear down the defense from John Glenn, who have spent most of the 3rd quarter on the field.
Right, and that's what happens when you're able to establish a little bit of running and even getting some of these other receivers in play. Right there, another pass to Listerman on a slant.
Yep, Listerman is going to be about a half yard short of the 1st down, but again, 3rd down and about the length of a football for a 1st down, and you like your chances when you got 2 chances to go from less than a half a yard.
Yeah, and again, to keep the ball moving, keep the clock going. Now we're under a minute and a half left here in the 3rd. This is exactly, you talked about drawing things up and your adjustment at halftime is offense establish the domination. Start the dominance on the front. And that's what they're doing. They're able to open some holes, get a couple yards here, a couple yards there.
And I think overall the defense from John Glenn really has played well. They have not allowed Fellows or a lot of other people to make big plays, and they've made them work all the way down the field. But the Garber Dukes continue to move down the field. And the quarterback keeper, when you follow Van Dorn, who has a nice hit on the freshman linebacker, you pick up the 1st down and even more. It will be 1st and 10 from the 17-yard line, as they're going to probably run one play here, and after that play's done, the 3rd quarter clock is going to be saying zeros.
Halstead getting the call from the coaching staff as he will jog it back out, relay it to his fellow Duke teammates, and
again, you got to credit Van Dorn with a great lead block, and he just kind of sealed off the backer and knew that that's all he needed to do to move the sticks.
Halstead's playing a great game the second half, just kind of controlling everything. As this one, he's just going to take up the middle, late see.
And again, he spins at the end and he falls forward for that extra 2 yards on what will be the last play of our third quarter, as we're down to 15 ticks left in the third. That's going to put the wraps on our third quarter with the score 23 for the Garber Dukes and 6 for the John Glenn Bobcats. Back in a moment with the final 12 on BCTV.
That brings us to the end of the third quarter with the score.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
As the Garber Dukes in the red zone from the 12-yard line, knocking on the door. And a quick post. As the skinny to Tyson.
Skinny slant post.
And just a really, really nice job again. A great timing play. And they're going to move that ball inside the 5. And it will be first and goal from the 4-yard line. And 2 methodical drives here thus far in the second half for the Garber Dukes.
Yeah, I don't think, again, you don't draw these things up as near perfect as they've been. They've been able to, but again, you're finding other players besides Max Fellows. You're getting the ball. Tyson scored earlier in the third quarter. That was a great pass right there. Listerman's getting involved. I think that's going to be the key to the Duke's success as they continue for the season.
Yep, they've got to get the ball to 4 or 5 receivers to make that happen. Van Dorn swings to the near side of the field. And he tries to sidestep, makes the first person miss. Might have picked up a couple of yards. Now he's pushing himself down to the 1-yard line. Tickling the goal line. He's going to be just short of the goal line. And we got another John Glenn Bobcat down on the field. And so we are short of the goal line. It will be second and goal from the 1. And we'll be back in just a moment on Bay County TV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood, or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
Halstead with Van Dorn in the backfield. And Van Dorn gets hit in the backfield and is pushed back to the 5-yard line. And a great job by the defensive interior lineman as they pushed forward. And they are led by Bradley amongst others on that tackle. It'll be third and goal from the 5. And defensive line and the linebacker got 4 yards of penetration, hit Van Dorn just as soon as he touched the ball.
Definitely a low snap affected a little bit of the timing of everything there, and I think at that point you're just happy that you didn't fumble it, A, and B, that you only lost 4 yards. Now it's going to be third down and goal from the 5-yard line.
Well, you got bigs on both sides of the field. As they're going to go on the slant and in and out of the hands of the intended wide receiver.
Tyson. Pass intended for Isaac Tyson.
As Tyson missed it now.
Fourth and goal.
And Tyson's a little bit gimpy getting up now. I don't know if that's going to affect his ability to kick a field goal. And he's going to come out of the game, so I would say the offense stays out, and they're going to see what they can do to try and put 6 on the board. If not, they realize that they've got the John Glenn Bobcats 95 yards right now, 96 yards away from pay dirt.
Yeah, I don't think you're too panicky. Again, you're putting a lot of defense or a lot of pressure on your John Glenn offense if they do in fact turn it over here. But you know, again, Halstead's been able to make and get other people involved. You got Phillips and Listerman to the far side. You got Fellows and Pett here to the short side.
And you're going to throw that thing up for Fellows, and a great job by the Bobcat defense led by number 2, Colton Beeson. He was going for his second pick.
And Beeson was over there. Buzzard was over there. You know, you throw that up. I don't think Ethan Pett's the one you want to throw the lob pass to, as Fellows was in the back of the end zone.
But you had great pressure coming up the middle again from the John Glenn Bobcat defense. So huge stop for them. And the score remains 23-6 with 9:59 left in our fourth quarter of play.
Now they're going to put the Bobcats offense on the heels of their end zone.
Whenever your quarterback is at the goal line or in the end zone, had just a little bit different feeling to your offense, where you know that there is no room for error.
No, and I think you talked about it earlier. I think the Garber defense, the front seven, I think they're going to have their ears pinned back and trying to get in that backfield.
Boy, barely, nearly breaking it out for a big one. Everybody thought that there was
handoff.
going to be a handoff to the wide side and tackled at the 1 yard line, but again, moved the sticks. The Buzzard made it happen.
Yeah.
He's had some nice runs in this game.
He has, and you know, he really got that Garber defense flowing one direction just to come back to the opposite.
We got the Essexville Hampton's best, or Essexville out there, the city, and I don't know if they're waiting, I think, to give you and I an escort out of town, you know, a little parade to make sure that we get back to the west side safely. We'll see if truly that's what happens, or if they got the cuffs out for us. Again, great pass, perfectly done by Buzzard. Completion out to the 45-yard line. Perfectly thrown by the Buzz. And that is going to
number 12.
Yeah, we don't have a number 12.
Nope, we've looked up and down twice, and late roster addition.
First and 10 for the Bobcats at their own 46-yard line.
Well, that's the best offensive play that they've had. They've already got 40 yards in offense on this drive after only getting 42 in the entirety of the first half. And little miscommunication on that play. Looked like Buzzard was feeling some pressure coming. And they'll bring it back to the line of scrimmage with 8:58 left in the ball game. Second down and 10.
Yeah, Greer went one way. I think they were trying to throw him a fade pattern to the sideline and thought maybe we don't have a name for him, but number 12, they would have went back to him. He actually crossed, and either way, it's lived to play another down. Second down 10, just under 9 minutes left here in the quarter number 4. Again, John Glenn needs to do something quickly with it. They got to get points on the board, down to 23-6. 3 possessions right now.
It is a situation where they have got to score early and often, and we're going to have a penalty. And it's
penalty flag is on the field.
This is not a penalty where you kill the ball. You run the play, and it's 2 men in motion. It's not something that you're going to blow the whistle and kill the play on. So they better call illegal procedure and not 2 men in motion.
There you go.
Indication is false start against John
I think that's the only way you can cover for the 2 men in motion at one time. But either way, you know, they're feeling good, and now you've got a situation where you give back 5 yards of valuable real estate.
On second down, you know, if you're an official, the sideline judge, you got those coaches in your ear, you know, they're yelling, they're chirping, dude, I'm on motion, man, and you just throw the flag. I'm like,
you can throw the flag. You just got to swallow the whistle, not burp it. It's got the double sticks now with second down and 14 yards to go. As up to the line of scrimmage, the Bobcats with a little bit of offensive momentum going. Buzzard trying to go up the middle, and he almost lost that football. As guess who did the defense? That's Bray.
Tackled by Ryan Bray.
Ryan Bray in there. Westfall was in there putting the pressure on him. You know, Bray's a sophomore, Westfall the junior. You got to like what you're seeing when on your defensive line when so young yet so talented.
Well, when you've got sophomores and juniors that have got multiple years of varsity experience, that really seems to help.
Absolutely, and I think, you know, again, growing it, they got 4 seniors this year, 4, don't get me wrong, 4 key seniors. But, you get your grooming Ethan Pett, your backup quarterback. He's a sophomore, getting a lot of opportunity. And I always think it's better when you're a quarterback if you play the receiver position, because then you have to learn the ins and outs and the intricacies of what it takes to be the quarterback for your route running. And when you want to tell somebody to do something, you have the experience to back it up.
Buzzard's running for his life, gets rid of the ball. And a great job out there again. Fellows with not a big physical tackle, but he puts those arms out and they go about halfway across the field to kind of just engulf the receiver and bring him down to the ground.
They got to gain about 3 or 4 on the play, brings up 4th down 11, and again, safe play. You let them catch it in front of you, don't get beat over the top. And this is going to be big.
Look at underneath the trees right now. I don't know if Jared's going to be able to get a look at that, but that bad moon is arising over there. And it's the full blue moon. It's the second one in a month, so the werewolves are going to be howling a little later tonight.
The last day of August.
4th down and 11 yards to go. Really, if John Glenn entertains any thoughts of getting back in this game, they've got to convert on 4th down. And a holding call, very, very obvious. And it's going to nullify what would have been a 1st down. You cannot tackle defenders. And it is going to come back. It is going to be a 10-yard penalty. And again, the officials have only called the obvious tonight. They have otherwise let the kids play.
We got a second penalty, or are we just discussing what we're doing here?
Yep, they're just making sure, because it happened behind the line of scrimmage, to make sure that their enforcement is on track. So I'm
really
not
quiet out here at the stadium. Everybody wants to hear the official make the call.
Holding on the offense, and that was very obvious.
Against John Glenn.
And it negates a nice pass, a good decision, and of course, does Buzzard get the holding call, open him up a little bit, maybe. So again, you have to call it.
Even if there is not a sack there, you are opening a passing lane where that defender is coming. So again, for the referee, it is not a hard call for him to make. It's something that he almost has to make for his credibility, because they make it so obvious by tackling him that it's something you got to call.
Well, with 7 minutes left, it's going to be 4th down and 21 for the Bobcats. Not a lot of plays you have in your arsenal, especially as a run-based team first. But, again, Buzzard's shown he's got a nice arm, and he's been able to get it out there a couple of times. Let's see if he can make some magic happen.
Well, he's got pressure coming right now. He's running for his life. He's got a little bit of real estate, and that ball very nearly picked off. As Tyson just about had a pick.
Is incomplete, batted down by.
Well, he's going to say, I'm a defensive back. I'm supposed to knock it down. I'm not supposed to catch those. I'm not on offense.
Oh, he had his eyes.
Get the ball back there, Coach. I get the ball back at the 35. If I would have caught it, we would have had it at the 50.
He had his eyes on a pick and a 6.
Yeah, I'm trying for the young fella.
Yes, indeed.
Comes from a good family, comes from good stock. He's always thinking about what's best for the team.
6:34 left in the ball game. 1st and 10 for the Garber Dukes, as they are on the 35-yard line of the John Glenn Bobcats. And
well, do you throw one up real quick and just see if you can put the final nail in this coffin, or you want to try to run the ball and
Chuck Knox?
Okay,
ground Chuck. Of course, Coach Weller's going to go, you know what? You're wrong again, Jeff, which is not any different than my prognostication in the past.
No, you don't have a...
Oh, look at that fake on the pitch. And Halstead gets all the way down to about the 13-yard line. I did not catch the defender, but that pitch fake just froze the defender. And Halstead just did an amazing job of planting that outside leg and right straight north and south.
But defensively, he did the right thing. You want to take away the pitch, you just got to hope the rest of your defense can rally to the quarterback on that. That's like Jamel Holloway out there.
You want the backside to be able to pursue to the quarterback on the inside, and Bobcats did not make that happen. Now they're going to pitch that thing to the outside. Ball's down on the ground, and waiting to see who's got their hands on it. Looks like the John Glenn Bobcats are going to recover that ball, and
Well, maybe that's why they don't pitch it. He needs to go a little Tony Rice, a little 1988 Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Don't pitch it unless you're giving it to Jerome Bettis.
Give it to the boss. So the ball is going to go over to the John Glenn Bobcats on downs with 5:59. We're right at the one tick past the halfway point of our fourth quarter of play. Few extra defensive changes coming for the Garber defense, and I think that the John Glenn Bobcats are going to wait and get word, as Buzzard actually got the word from the sideline, and as they've been using a wide receiver, Rick Connor a lot of the time to bring that play in from the sideline. And they're going to have motion again, and Buzzard is going to be sacked back at the 5-yard line, and they are going to decline that penalty.
Ryan Bray got back there and made sure he swung down G-Buzz.
And the Buzz gets up a little bit slow.
He got swung down pretty good by Mr. Young, Ryan Bray. Yeah, they're trying to put his arm back in the socket. There's a shoulder pad. You're fine.
And I want to see what this call from the umpire amounts to here. Because the umpire's got only 3 positions, right? The center and the 2 guards. Those are the only 3 people that he's watching. So if that flag is coming from him, it's the center or the 2 guards. And we're going to find out now. They're going to decline the penalty, I'm quite certain.
So illegal formation, my guess.
Cannot be an illegal formation called by the umpire. It would have been a false start, and the umpire should have blown the whistle with that false start, and it would have been 1st and 15 as opposed to 2nd and 19. So now back at the edge of their goal line, a quick pitch to the outside, and a modest gain on the play. Might have got them out to the 10-yard line. As Tyson out there again.
The ankles, the shoelaces, whatever he could do. Try and tie them together if you had to. But Beeson with the pitch on from Buzzard. And Ryan Bray was coming in again.
And Beeson looked like he got up a little bit slow from that tackle again, too. And sometimes when they're holding onto your ankle and you're trying to pull away from that, that can really twing the hammy, the calf muscle, the Achilles.
Your ankle goes in spots it's just not intended to go.
They're down and 13 yards to go. And the John Glenn Bobcats, as we approach 5 minutes left, are not really in any big hurry, as they're going to have Buzzard come back onto the field as he's running the plays in again here in the second half. 3rd and 13 again.
Now we're going to put number 0 back there for the quarterback for this finally timeout. I think
delay a game before the timeout.
Yeah, Buzzard came off late and hobbled off. It looked like the coach swung him over to the sideline and then tried to get a play in. But
I'm going to tell you, if I have a player that is coming off the field, I'm going to stop, give an official's timeout to let him go out there. I'm going to do the palm up in the air, and I'm going to redo the 25. And that maybe would not have been a delay game at that point, but I'm not certain that they understood that he was coming off the field, and so therefore they might not have made that call, and they're going to be down very close to the goal line, I think just outside the goal line at the 1-yard line. So the Garber Dukes are trying to get their second safety of the night. A lot of teams don't get 2 safeties in an entire season, and they're going for 2 in a night.
Yeah, Lucas Nairn got in there, tried to rustle him down in the end zone, able to sneak back. Greer, I'm talking about, who took the snap at quarterback position for the Bobcats, was able to get it back out of the end zone. And I hate to say positive because it wasn't positive yards, but it was definitely positive more so than in the end zone. 4th down and 22 from the goal line.
They've got to get a good exchange here, and they've got to get rid of it in a hurry, because you can't get your normal drop as you sit back there, and you're only about 8 yards back, as you don't want to hit that back line. Good job, and that thing goes right straight up in the air, and that is going to be about a 17-yard kick, and it'll be downed And the Garber Dukes are going to end up starting this possession in the red zone.
3 minutes, 44 seconds left here in quarter number 4, 23-6. The Garber Dukes still leading the John Glenn Bobcats. The entire battle for Vets Bridge, the Bangor Township versus Essexville, the rivalry. We thought it was going to be a spirited game, and I tell you what, I'd still give my hats off to the John Glenn defense. I thought they played a whale of a game. They could have really just tucked away and ran after the Dukes were able to put those 14 points on the board in the first 5.5 minutes of the first quarter, and instead they were able to make this a game.
They rallied big time when they could have folded the tent, and so ton of credit to them. And again, they're going to throw that thing down to Fellows, and the ball is really uncatchable, thrown out of bounds. As
Max Fellows is incomplete.
Fellows is seeing double defense every single time he runs the route.
Yeah, you know, I thought maybe they would have thrown that one up in the high side, the top side where Phillips is at, maybe give him an opportunity to, again, make up. You know, he made his catch, give him an opportunity to get a touchdown here.
Well, especially with all the attention going to Fellows, you're almost certainly going to see everybody else get man defense.
I think Coach Horton was singling up here. I think he was asking for Gwiz to go cover him as well. Maybe me, maybe my height.
Oh, Gwiz, he could throw it with the best of them back in the day. Trips to the wide side of the field. Van Dorn to the near side. Van Dorn breaks a tackle up the middle. Stays on his feet and going to fall forward for about a gain of 9 yards on the play as he's down to the 8-yard line. And another nice run by Van Dorn as he ends up finishing that run in style.
You know, way to turn them legs, way to get the hole, way to hit the hole. And again, you're just looking to keep that clock rolling right now with just a little shy of 3 minutes left.
Western still in the lead last we heard. Central just tied their score. So a lot of great things potentially happening in Bay County.
Absolutely. Bay County football right now is playing really well. The Cougars were up.
Life is good. Third down, and they're going to call it a short 2-yard to go situation. They're waiting right now for the last 5 seconds and going right up the middle. And look at Van Dorn with the offensive line. Looked like a little rugby scrum out there as they're going to go down to the 7-yard line. And you can push the pile forward, brother. You just can't assist the runner going forward. It's a real fine line.
Yeah, well, ever since the Bush push, I don't agree with it. I still say we won the game. I tell you what, you want to foul somebody, I'm going to foul Tristan Westfall. I'm going to foul that kid right there. I'm going to foul.
He's got a motor.
Ryan Brace out there, I'll foul him. It's, you know, but the Dukes right now, they're feeling very comfortable with where they're at and smelling the victory. We got an official's timeout.
I got another player down for the John Glenn Bobcats, so we'll get the hydration specialists on the field and get some more water to them. We'll take another quick break and be back in a moment on Bay County TV.
All right, this is Adam, take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
Back here on BCTV, it's 1st and goal as we are down to 2 minutes and 12 seconds left in the game. And they're going to try the pitch to the outside, trying to move forward as Van Dorn gets back to about the line of scrimmage. And he's pushed out of bounds by, amongst others, number 15. Again, Hilborn has had just a fabulous game, that young man.
Yeah, it looked like number 8 also. We get to say his name, Eli Richardson, on the assist. You know, the only thing that Coach Aquila is saying is don't go out of bounds.
Yep, I concur.
Tick, 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 tick. Let's go. Keep that clock rolling.
Let's get out of here and make sure everybody is healthy. And
I think Listerman wants the ball. He keeps coming over. He's clapping his hand. I thought he was calling a player. I think he's saying, give me the ball. I want the ball.
We got a player coming off the field.
It's going to be number 52 for the Dukes, which is going to be Charlie Fellows, Max's younger brother, junior.
Timeout. Timeout, John Glenn. This is their first of the half. They have two
It's a good time to call a timeout. 2 minutes, 4 seconds left.
We'll take a break and be back in a moment on BCTV.
Are you ready to gear up and stand out? Look no further than Sandlot, your local source for team uniforms, sports spiritwear, and more. Gear up with confidence. We've got your team covered from head to toe, ensuring you stand out on and off the field. And that's not all. Unleash your team spirit with custom spiritwear that roars success. Wait, it gets better. Introducing our free fundraising online stores. Effortlessly raise funds for your team while showing your pride.
Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham, glad to have you along. Jared Doan filming and producing. Under the watchful eye of the Golden Tablet, Lee Thompson and Mike Guazdala. We're in great hands up here in the booth at Garber. And now a quick pass to the outside, and all by myself reminds me of a song. Ethan Pett into the end zone. It is a Garber Duke touchdown. Oh boy, we're going back to the 70s with a flashback all by myself.
Is that the Carpenters? Please tell me it's not the Carpenters.
It is not. But what a great play fake to the middle, and Pett just was out there. He was feeling lonely out there all by himself, and just a nice little soft lollipop and the score.
Well, on the timeout, I had a feeling that Coach Horton really wanted his defense to, come up with a couple more stops to really almost build upon that little bit of as small as it would be, a little momentum swing there. But
as that ball may have been tipped, as it gets through the uprights anyway, we got time out of the field with $1:59 left of the game.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. As a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
Back on BCTV for the last $1:59 of the ball game, as the Garber Dukes put points 29 and 30 on the board, and the John Glenn Bobcats will be the recipient of the kickoff. I'm a freshman. I've done it all defensively. Now I'm going to have a chance to make a nice return on the play as he cruises down the sideline. Tyson with a touchdown saving tackle on the play. Yes, Phil Bourne just picked that thing up, and he ran like a man possessed.
Yes, Tyson with the touchdown saving tackle. But as we ask, aren't they all?
Yes, indeed. They do all save a touchdown potentially, whether it's 20 yards away or 45. But again, a great starting field position for John Glenn, and would love to see them have an opportunity to get down and punch one in, as they've had an offensive drought here for the last 3 years in this big rivalry series, and would do wonders for them moving forward if they could stick one here late in the end zone.
Yeah, we're really hoping for it. I know I'd wait to see if I can't see if Buzzard's back out there or not, or if number 0.
It's 0.
Yeah, Greer's still taking the snaps. Buzzard had a heck of a running game and a couple of nice passes. One was for Fernandez. We got a little running action coming our way.
A little jet sweep action, and
he's got a
beautiful job by number 24 on that play.
Yeah, we're going to be looking for a number. He doesn't even have the John Glenn helmet. He's got the old, just the blue. He's got the practice helmet. He hasn't got the stripes yet.
What they're starting to do now is they're starting to wear, a lot more people are wearing this protective covering over the top to give you the extra padding in case there's helmet contact. So the varsity scrimmages that I did the Thursday before the start of the season, a lot of teams are utilizing that, and it is a legal piece of equipment now. So
good. That's anything for player safety.
Protect those young craniums.
Well, it was a nice run. I don't care when you get that run. That's a nice run right there by number 24, as Greer is going to roll out and throw it just short of the Garber defense.
I can't tell. Maybe one of the Garber defenders may have hit the arm of Greer as he was getting ready to throw and caused that to be an errant pass, but at least it, for John Glenn's sake, fell harmlessly 15 yards downfield.
Yeah, again, 24 going down the field. Looked like you want trying to get him maybe on a sprint. Unfortunately, just wasn't able to get a plant with that Garber defense kind of howling down, pinning their ears back here.
Well, and I was just wondering if they had maybe potentially a couple of fifth quarter kids that maybe they're getting to play late, but I can't see that by the roster. 2nd down and 10 yards to go. Now they got, I was going to say twins in the backfield. Now they go back to the double wing. And the young man is going to try and move forward, and he gets pummeled, and he, as the second person hit him as he was spinning, hit him right in the middle of the back, and I believe he coughed up the ball.
Going to be still possession stays with John Glenn, but yeah, he took a nice little lick there.
So they either ruled him down or one of the Bobcats recovered that ball, but it'll be 3rd down and 10 yards to go as we're fast approaching 1 minute left in this ball game. Taking their time, getting the play in. Would like to see them get. They've still got 2 timeouts, so they got an opportunity to run probably 3 to 4 plays. See what Greer can do here on 3rd down and 10.
Will Stopyak lines up down here. They're not gonna have any time back there. Just unfortunately for the Bobcat offense, just unable to get something set back there as he's sacked.
Armbruster. Hope Van Dorn. It was 30, not 30. 50.
That'll bring up a 4th down in about 16.
And they got nothing to lose by trying to run a play here, because I'm certain that Garber is just going to take a knee if they don't pick up the 1st down. Back to pass now, running for his life, trying to get around the corner. He is behind the line of scrimmage. The pass complete down inside the 5-yard line.
Wait, hold on. We got one ref. Your back judge signaled touchdown.
Glenn, but there is a penalty flag on the field.
He possibly crossed the line.
Well, they're saying that he was very close to the line. In a pass situation, normally what you have is the umpire steps up into the 3-yard mark of the offensive line, because the line of scrimmage is his responsibility. That came from the head linesman across the field, and I'm not saying that they can't find it, but most of the time your line judge and your head linesman are going to release downfield, and your umpire is the person that is going to step up and make that.
1st and 10.
It was very close, but I believe he was a couple of yards over the line of scrimmage, and so that's going to result in a
turnover and downs,
loss of the down, and so the ball will go over, and I believe they're just going to do one quick snap and go down on a knee, and they'll
favorite play call right there,
victory formation. Somebody must have some money on the spread. Yep, it will be the favorite formation, the victory formation.
Well, let's just talk back about that last play. Will Stopyak gets an opportunity, made a great cross over the end zone to have that touchdown negated as Halstead takes a knee.
That's all there is.
There is no more.
The final score in our ball game, the Garber Dukes 30 and the John Glenn Bobcats 6. Back in a moment. We'll put the wraps on this one right here on BCTV.